Hey guys, Mr. Lloyd here. I'm going to take you through Tuesday's problems. And this is going to be a little bit different, of course, because Tuesday's problems are actually going to ask us to do Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday of this whole week. So that's the only thing we're doing today. So it maybe is a little weird the way I assigned this, but my thinking was we've done a lot of fraction division, we've done a lot of fraction multiplication. Let's just keep our other 6th grade math skills fresh by going through and doing a quick little review. So let's take a look here at the first problem on Monday. The ratios part to part. Well, there are 6 circles to 3 stars. And of course we could have written it as 3 to 6. Here we're going to write part to whole, so we're just going to flip it around. 3, but the whole here is 9. In other words, the total. Or I could have said 6 to 9. Either one of those would be good. And then the whole to the part would be just the reverse, 9 to 3 or 9 to 6, depending on which one we're going to take. All right, number 2, we've got the opposite of positive 12 is negative 12, and the absolute value for each is 12. Opposite of negative 10 is positive 10, absolute value is 10. Here we've got opposite of positive 3 is going to be negative 3, and then our absolute value is, of course, 3. All right, you guys do great on those, no problems there. Let's take a look at number 3. Write an expression to represent 6 less than 7 times a number. I'm going to call that number n, and I'm going to write 7 times n minus 6. Or I could have written it as just 7n minus 6 because that's also multiplying as well. Okay, pretty straightforward there. Let's do a little adding, so let me just write my decimal problem right here. 9.83, excuse me. Make sure I put a 0 under there, and now I'm ready to add, so that would be 7, 4, 6, 2, and finally 4. So my answer is 4.2647. Just wanted to rewrite it for some handwriting purposes. All right, 6.35 minus 0.6323. So let's see what we get here. Remember just to line this up in place value. And here to begin, you put a 0 on top, and then we just do our ungrouping. Okay. That's 7, and then that's 5. So your answer is 5.727. Okay, 707 divided by 3, so remember just practicing long division here. Although if you're at home and you're using a calculator, that's fine too. Since we're at home, might as well use the old tools that you've got. Use the calculator if you've got it. This would be 5, whoops. And then I drop down my 0 here, and now 3 into 10 would go 3 times. That'd be 9. And if I subtract again, you might be able to see this pattern here. Here I'm going to get 0.333, and that 3 is going to repeat forever, so I'm going to rewrite this above like this, with 3 with a little line on top that tells me it's repeating. The last problem I'm going to do here on this particular problem set is just a quick little 3x2 multiplication. And again, if you're doing this at home with a calculator on a computer or a handheld calculator, that's perfectly fine. No big deal there. Remember, so that's our first, I multiplied 8 by everything. Now I'm going to multiply 6 by everything, and let's see what we get here. Remember, I put a 0 here for place value, then 6 times 2 is 12, so 1. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. 6 times 9 is 54. Oops, this should be a 1 because of the 19. My 9, and then my 1 goes up here. Now 6 times 9 is 54, plus 1 is 55. And now I add them up, and I'm left with 6, 7, this would be 13, that would be 6. So 63,000 376. All right. That's Monday's problems. Let's look at Tuesday's problems. Tuesdays, we got a little rate problem here. So 6 cookies for 3 students. That would be 3 cookies is my rate, and then my unit rate is just 3 cookies per student. And of course that 3 I got by dividing 6 by 2. Okay, so that's not coming out of nowhere. That has a meaning. All right, let's look at here. We've got a 10 by 10 square, and we've got 4 rows colored in, so we're going to get a fraction of 40 over 100. We're going to rewrite this as 0.40 decimal. The ratio is 40 to 100. And as a percent, it's just 40%. So pretty straightforward there. Okay, what is 35% of 40? 35% should go on top. The whole is 40. The part here is the unknown. So here I'm going to multiply diagonally. I'm going to call this P, and I'm going to multiply diagonally here to figure this out. So this gets 100 P equals 1,400. Okay, and then I'm just going to say, well, P must equal 1,400. Oh, I see, you can't see that. P equals 1,400 divided by 100. And that should give me 14. So P equals 14. Okay? All right, Margot made some fudge. She made 2 2/3 pounds of fudge. She gave 1/4 of it to her friend Lainey. How many pounds of fudge did Lainey get? So we're going to take her initial 2 2/3 pounds, and we're going to multiply it by 1/4. Okay, but in order to do this, I need to turn this mixed number into what? An improper fraction. So let's go ahead and do that. Multiply whole number by the denominator. That would give us 6. Add 2, that would give us 8. So it would be 8 over 6 times 1 over 4. Now I'm ready to do my multiplication. 8 times 1 is 8. 6 times 4 is 24. So I have 8 24ths, which can simplify into 1/3. And the way I got there, I divided both 8 and 24 by 8. So 8 divided by 8 is 1, 24 divided by 8 is 3. All right, number 5, we're going to complete the table and then graph our coordinates. Y equals x minus 2. All right, so y equals x minus 2, 10 minus 2. Let's see, what if this is 9? This must be 7. And if if x is 8, then y has to be 6. And let's keep going down. If x is 7, y is 5. If x is 6, y is 4. And if x is 5, y is 3. Okay, so there's our table completion. And now we need to put these on the graph, put these points. So 10, 8, so 10 at x. 8, 9, so 10 over, up 8. There we go. 9 over, up 7. There we go. 8 over, up 6. 7 over, up 5. 6 over, up 4. 5 over, up 3. And there we have it. Those are our data points right there, and they make that nice straight line. Okay, so we're done with Mondays and Tuesdays. We're going to flip over and do Wednesday and Thursday on this side. So for this first problem on Wednesdays, it gives us an equation, 17 plus 48 divided by 2 to the 3rd power equals blank. Our job is to simplify, which means we have to go in order of operations. So the operations we have in this problem are addition, division, and an exponent. And we use this rule, the little acronym for this rule is PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, then addition, then subtraction. That acronym will tell you what order you need to go in to solve the problem. In this case, the first step would be exponents. So 2 to the third is going to be rewritten as 2 times 2 times 2. That's 4 times 2 is 8. So now now I know that 2 to the third equals 8. Okay? Now I'm going to rewrite this step up here divided by 8. So let's see what this looks like. 17 plus 48 divided by 8. Now I have to look once again at my order of operations. I have addition and division. My next step would be division. So 48 divided by 8 is 6. And now I'm down to just one single step, 17 plus 6. And I'll write it over here. It's going to give us 23. And that's our answer. And if you want, we can come up and write it in there with our nice, neat handwriting. Okay? Number 2, we just got some fraction division. We've been working on these all week. Here they're going to ask us to flip or multiply by the reciprocal. So 4/5 stays the same, but 3/4 gets flipped. The reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. Now I'm ready to multiply. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 3 is 15. 16/15 we know can be rewritten as 1 and 1/15. That's all she wrote. All right. Problem number 3, we are given a little rectangular prism or a box. Here are the dimensions for it. They've labeled them on the box here, and they've also drawn a net for us, which will really help us as we find the area. So all we have to do for this net is just find the area of each of these rectangles. And the measurements are given to you. So remember, it's always going to be base times height. So this area would be 6, and I'm just going to write the area of each inside the rectangle because there's not a lot of room to write anything else. 5 times 2 would be 10. 5 times 2 would be 10 for this guy as well. How about this middle area? I have 5. What's the height here? Must be 3. So this is 15. Okay. So just look around, see your measurements. I'm looking at this little rectangle here. I've got a measurement of 2 meters and a height of 3, so this would be 6 as well. And here, 5 times 3, another 15. If you notice, you should have 2 rectangles that have the area of 6, 2 that have the area of 10, and 2 with area of 15. So in other words, you should have pairs of each area. They should have a partner, okay? And then we just add them all together. So let's see, it would be, we'll just go in order 6 plus 10 plus 15 plus 10 plus 6. Oops, better put 15 up here. Kind of ran out of space there. Didn't really think it through how long that would get. And then we just add them together. 5 plus 6 is 11. That would be 16 and 22. Okay, 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So it looks like our total, I'm going to rewrite it up here, would be 62 meters squared. All right, so now we have a couple of fraction multiplication by a whole number. So we're going to rewrite this as 3/4 times 8 over 1. And now we're going to get 24 on top, 4 on bottom. 24 over 4 is better known as 6. That simplifies to 6. So multiplying fractions, pretty quick, pretty easy. I'm going to rewrite this as 12 over 1 times 4 over 5. Remember, when I'm doing this rewriting step, by putting a 1 underneath, I'm not changing the value. So I'm not breaking a math rule, just changing the way it looks to my brain. All right, 12 times 4 is 48. 1 times 5 is 5. Now I have to think, okay, how many times does 5 go into 48? It goes in 9 times. And there are 3 left over. So 9 3/5. Okay? All right, and then ordering here, let's see, we're going to go least to greatest. So the lowest number, then the next lowest number, and then continuing in a positive direction, -7, continuing in a positive direction, and finally the largest number, 3. All right, same thing, least value, -97. -24, -5, 0, and of course 12. So pretty straightforward there. All right, that's all Wednesday's problems. Let's finish this thing out with Thursday's work. So Thursday's work, we're always going to have a little graph on Thursday's problems, a little statistical question. Let's take a look here. But remember, Thursdays always start with the substitution, getting us into the habit of seeing algebra and solving algebraic problems. So 2a plus 1 equals 9. So 2 times something plus 1 equals 9. There's only one number that would fit there. 2 times a plus 1. Well, 2 times 3 would be 6 plus 1. Nope. How about 2 times 4? 2 times 4 would be 8 plus 1. There it is. Must be 4. So I'm just using these numbers up here and doing a little mental math there, seeing what fits, seeing what makes sense. All right, 4b minus 2 equals 18. So 4 times 3 would be 12. 12 minus 2, no thanks. How about 4 times 4? 4 times 4 would be 16. Minus 2 would be 14, so it doesn't make sense. How about 5? 5 times 4 is 20. Minus 2 is 18. 5 it is. Okay, so again, just checking to see what fits. Last one, 24 over c. Remember, this is like dividing. 24 divided by c. Minus 3 equals 1. Okay, so let's just try 6. 24 over 6 equals 4. 4 minus 3 equals 1, so that would be 6. Okay, not so bad there. Use the associative property to write an equivalent expression. The associates here are 7 and 9. I think about the associative property as the associate means friends, and here 9 and 7 are friends, but I can rewrite this as 7 times 9 times 2. Now I've changed who's friends with who. In this case, 9 and 2 are friends. 7 is left out in the cold. Sorry, 7. It's nothing personal. But that's just what we need to do to use that associative property. Pretty straightforward there. All right. Number 3. Identify if the question is statistical or non-statistical. They're asking how long can you hold your breath. So remember, for a statistical question, we would need lots of data. We'd need some sorts of, maybe people with recording their how long they could hold their breath, and they'd maybe say 1 minute and 63 seconds and so on and so forth. But in this case, it's not statistical. I'm just going to say non-statistical. I think it still makes sense. Okay. Not enough data. And that's all we have to do there. Just trying to figure out, is that statistical or is it not? All right. And numbers 4 and 5, we're going to graph and label the polygons. I'll do 4 with the screen pin here. So the first point is -6. -6. So that would be down here. -6, -9 would be down here. +3, -6, +3, -6, right there. And +3, -9. Okay. If I close this shape, I get a plain old rectangle. Man, I was really hoping I'd get like a trapezoid or something, but in that one I just got a plain old rectangle. And maybe you saw that by just noticing where your vertexes or where your corners would be on this. Maybe you could have just looked at the points and noticed that. If you did, good job. But if not, don't even worry about it. Your job is just to graph these and label. All right, here we go. Number 5, they say we're going to get another polygon. There's only 3 points, which clues me in into what kind of shape it's going to be. If there's only 3 corners, 3 vertexes, 3 vertices, well, I kind of know what it's going to be. Just don't know exactly how it's going to look. So let's see how it looks. 5 over, up 4, that's my first point. -5, so that's 5 to the left, and up 4, so -5 and up 4. Okay. And then 0, so don't move at all, but just go down to -5. There it is. Oops, mine got a little out of whack there. And we graphed a triangle. All right. So that's all the work we're going to do today on Tuesday, November 24th. Have a great holiday weekend, guys. Enjoy the break. Sleep in. Stay up late as long as it won't get you into trouble. Have fun. Eat lots of food. Rejoice. get outside. I think the weather's going to be nice, so get outside, get some fresh air. But that's all I'm going to say. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks. Keep your questions coming through Zoom calls, through our through Remind, through email, lots of different ways to be in touch. And I will see you guys later.